has been so long since we've had a chat, chill, and get ready with me. I don't even know the last month that I did one because I didn't. Maybe was it in February, but then I think I did a writing Q&A instead. So maybe it was all the way back at the beginning of the year. It's been a long time, y'all, but we're back with a monthly chat, chill, and get ready with me. Let's go ahead and jump into the questions. As always, you guys asked me questions on my, let me grab my eyeballs. On my Instagram story and also on my YouTube community tab. So that is where I always ask for questions on these chat, chill, and get ready with me videos. And then also you can use the comment section of this video and I will check back here for next month when I'm looking for more questions again. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm in a new place and that's where I'm going to start out with because I had 3 separate questions all about my new apartment. So that's where I'm going to start. So I had, how are you enjoying your new apartment? How's the cats adjusting to the new place? And are you loving the new office? So yes, yes, and yes. So I am loving my new apartment. So for those who don't know, I did move at the end of March. I stayed, I'm still in the same city. I didn't move states or anything, but I am in a completely new apartment and it's bigger. I love it. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, which I'm so excited about. I absolutely love having the 2 bedrooms because I turned my 2nd bedroom into an office. So I've posted a picture over on Instagram. I've also already done a library tour on here, so you can check those out if you haven't seen it yet. But I love it. I love having a dedicated writing space. It's so nice. So obviously I still have my desk in here that I use to get ready and stuff, but it's so nice just getting to go over into my office for work and not be all in one bedroom. And also I have so much more natural light in this apartment, guys. I have I don't even know, 6 or 7 windows throughout my apartment, which you might be that's not that many windows. To me it is, because in my old apartment I only had 2 windows and then I had glass patio doors out in my living area, but it felt like a cave in my old apartment. It did not get almost any natural lighting. It was just not as nice. But this one I have so much natural lighting. It's great. I have so many curtains to buy still. I'm still not fully settled because I went on vacation. I've only been in here now for just a little under a month, but in that time I was on vacation and then I've been under deadline for starting line. So I haven't I have a stack here of things behind me to still hang and things, but for the most part I'm pretty settled in. And then as far as the kitties go, they are also very well settled now. They, when they first got over here, they were nervous. They were both low to the ground and scooting around. But they very quickly warmed up and they love all of the windows. I think they like all of the new space that they have to run around. And they've gotten used to, all of the new sounds and things that we hear at this place and everything. So yeah, they have adjusted pretty good. And I told them, for their birthday, I'm getting you 500 more square feet. I always forget this. So in the morning, I just use the Pacifica Everyday Lotion. It has SPF 30 in it. And especially as we're getting into having the sun out more, I'm really trying to be good about that. So next up, your top 3 favorite books of all time, in parentheses, can't include yours. Thank you for the clarification. However, I would never ever include my own book in a list of my favorite books, unless if you specify books that you've written. I will never assume that you're asking me about my actual books because I would never say my own book as being a favorite of all time. But honestly, favorite 3 books of all time. I'm not even gonna try to cheat and be oh well, series. Okay, so books. Okay, I'm just gonna have to kind of do it because if I think about it too much then I'm gonna regret it. So I'm gonna go with Twist by Lucia Franco, book 4 in the Off Balance series. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, the 7th or 8th book, I guess, however you want to look at it. The finale book in the Throne of Glass series. Probably a Penelope Douglas book. Maybe Hideaway or Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I feel that's just what I gotta go. Oh, Sweet Dandelion. I feel that's just what I gotta roll with, because otherwise if I sit here I'll think about it way too much and then I'll overthink it and then I'll be well, actually, here's this, whatever. That's just what we're gonna roll with off the top of my head, but that list will always and forever be changing. What special editions are you most excited for? So honestly, I don't think I even have any special editions that I have currently ordered and that I'm waiting on. I had got the Dark and Disturbed Truth About duet by B. Celeste, one of my favorite duets. And honestly, I don't love them. So I'm honestly kind of like disappointed. So I don't know. I like them enough. I like the Truth About Heartbreak one a lot. I don't really like the Truth About Tomorrow one that much. So I recently got those, and then I got the rest of the Cover to Cover Salacious Players Club. Those ones that they completed. It was Highest Bidder, Madame. First of all, that Madame cover is absolutely insane. So I think those are my most two recent. I'm only, in case if you don't know, I'm only a sub for Mystic Box, but obviously they haven't had a box in a long time. And I refrained from getting the Emily McIntyre ones, even though I love them and I love that series. I'm really trying to be good about my special edition buying. So, I do actually have one. The Unrequited by Saffron Kent. I'll put the picture here. Also, Haya, who did my covers for Take You Down and Take My Hand, designed these. I just think she's like so incredibly talented. And she designed these. These are a signing exclusive. So I was really disappointed because I'm not going to any signings this year. The Unrequited is one of my all-time favorite books. All-time favorite student teacher book, pretty much, I think. And I think the special edition cover is gorgeous, but obviously it's a signing exclusive. So I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get it. Hopefully I can get it on like resale, or hope that maybe at some point she'll put it on her website. Well, then Melissa from the novel Aquarian, she was like, hey, I'm going to pre-order this. Let me know if you want me to pre-order one for you as well, and I'll pick it up for you. So she did that for me. And Melissa, thank you again. I am so freaking excited because I love this book. I love the original cover, but this is one of, I think probably like one of my top favorite books that I own that I don't have a special edition for. Like, I don't think there's ever been a special edition of it. And fun fact, for the BookTube box with Dark and Quirky that I did with Always Been You, we obviously had to have kind of like a few options in mind in case if the authors like didn't want to do it, or in case if they like already had this book tied up with like a different contract or something like that. So Always Been You was my first choice, and I was very lucky to like get that. But the Unrequited was on my list of ones that it's like, if for some reason QB can't do Always Been You with us, I wanted to see if Saffron Kent would do the Unrequited. Yeah, so that special edition is probably the one that I'm most looking forward to. What are my bangs doing? I'm not talking about it. My hair has not been washed in like 4 days. Because like I said, we're under deadline and everything in my life has fallen apart once again because of that. Oh, and also I used, it's the same. I literally never change my makeup, guys. So it is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear foundation that I use, and I have like one of the palest shades. The shade is not on here anymore, but it is on here, 400 Pearl. Maybe, and actually I think this one I went up a color. I went to 405 Porcelain for my summer shade because you get a little tan over here. Look at that. Just confirming, Reed is mine. I'll come up from South Africa to get him. I think this was Lisa's, wasn't it? Yep. So many people hate him, in case if you don't know that he is a character in Whisper Me Nothings, my series that I have the first 2 books out, and his book is not out yet. I'm hoping he will be probably my first release of 2025 if I can get Take What You Want released this fall yet. But a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people hate him, and that's okay. I hope that, at least there are some people out here like Lisa who do like him, and I do hope that like once his book comes around that people give him a chance. I know he's a bit of a dick, but he has his reason. And I feel like I obviously have to defend him because like I know who he is and like I know how his story is going to go. So like I do hope that people give him some grace by the time that his story rolls around, because he's not just a total asshole. Any hyperfixation meals right now? I mean, I eat the same exact breakfast and lunch every single day, but that's partially because of ease. I think honestly, I will say it's mostly because it is easy for me. Especially right now where I have so much going on in my brain and like stressing me out, that the last thing I want to do is thinking about what I need to cook. So honestly, I've even been eating the same exact dinner for probably since I've gotten back from vacation. So that's been like 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks almost. So I eat the same thing every single day. And honestly, it's just easy for me. It's routine. I don't mind it. So right now, I guess my dinner is probably the thing that I change up the most. So my dinner currently has been, like a sandwich on one of those like one of those King's Hawaiian little rolls. One of those, and then I do pesto, mozzarella, salami, and then I broil it in my toaster oven. and then I drizzle it with some balsamic glaze at the end, and that is my dinner. I don't eat a lot for dinner. Honestly, if I could skip any meal, it would be dinner. So like I don't even make side dishes or anything, but I don't really like dinner food. So I have never been a big dinner person where like I love eating breakfast and I love eating lunch. Will there be any merch for the books? I know, Jenny, I know this is my friend Jenny who has been asking, and I would love that. I would love to make like band t-shirts, especially of like, I think the first book, how it's like a tour, I think like a tour t-shirt would be so cool. But this just once again comes down to me not having time at the moment. Like indie authors just deserve, not even just myself, like I'm not saying this about myself, like the bigger authors who have like newsletters, storefronts, merch, like all of these things going on, truly like indie authors deserve all of the like grace and credit to their work, because there truly is so much that goes into things behind the scenes when you're having to do everything by yourself, like ARC teams. And I know obviously you reach a certain point where then you can hire people. I am nowhere near that point where I can like hire an actual assistant to help me out with any of these things, but merch would be something that down the line I would absolutely love. I just like personally do not have time for it right now, and financially I cannot afford to pay someone else to do it for me, even though it is something that I think would be so cool. So I would say I would love to have it one day, but I don't foresee that in my future anytime soon. I can only do so much in the day. Which actually I'm gonna jump ahead then, because there was a question then someone commented under it, like, for real, how do you keep yourself motivated to read, write, and work a full-time job? I think the biggest thing, first of all, is just that I love doing this. Reading is my hobby. Like I love reading so much. Obviously it is kind of like a bit of a job with YouTube. Like I don't get paid by anyone to read books. I don't get paid to like review books by anyone, but obviously like I do make like AdSense money on YouTube. So like in a sense it is kind of like a little bit like a job, and obviously in order to do that I have to be reading books. But I would be reading books whether or not I had a YouTube channel. Like reading just is my hobby. That is my escape. It keeps me sane. It keeps me happy. So regardless, I will always find time to read. Like even right now when I'm like severely under deadline with starting line, I still am making the time to read because I know that that is going to keep me balanced and sane. And then work and write full time. So I mean, working, I don't have a choice but to work. Like I obviously have a full-time job. That's how I support myself. Like I said, I am on my own. Like I don't have a roommate. I don't have a partner. I don't have anyone splitting bills with. I work to get my own insurance. Like I don't have any of that. So everything that I like, again, it's kind of like I don't have a choice but to work. And then writing, that's what I love. And that is what I would love to hopefully like 5 years down the line, get myself in a good place that I could drop down to doing like a full-time or a part-time job even, or something, you know, like writing is what I want to do and it's what I love. And even like at the end of the day, when I'm exhausted from like regular working and stuff, like I'm still just always looking forward to writing because it's like, that feels like my time. That fuels my creative passion and like what makes everything else in my life that I have to do bearable, because I know that at the end of the day, I get to do something that I love. I get to be creative. I make the time because it's what I love. And I am very strict on myself, like on the weekends, you know, especially like right now when I'm under deadline. I normally have a little bit of a better balance than I do in this moment, but you know, I make the time. Like right now, like the Challengers movie just came out, you know, or I think it's coming out. And one of my friends was like, do you want to go see that on Sunday? And that is my last Sunday before my deadline on May 1st. So I'm like, I can't make any solid plans. Like I just know that I need to keep that time open, and I'm strict with myself, and I'm very like disciplined in that way of like making sure that I get everything done that I need to. That's just, I guess I just do it all. I figure out a way to manage it because I love it. And I'm a very routine oriented person. So once I get in that routine, I don't really break it. That's just kind of how I keep it all going, I guess. So sorry. And once again, okay, CoverGirl, True Blend, concealer, although I cannot find this at my Target right now, so I hope that they didn't discontinue it. And then the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush mousse in Baby Doll is what else I use. And I use 2 different shades of concealer. One is like the lightest shade that they have, and the other one is like slightly darker that matches my face a little bit better. This one I genuinely, okay, I will say I have actually sat and thought about this one for quite a bit already. So, because I just haven't been able to get it out of my head, all right? And that is Fuck, Marry, Kill, Riot Archer, Hayden Coleman, and Matt Rempe. So in case if you are not aware of who those men are, which first of all, I feel like this is kind of tricky because it's like such a mixed bag group of men right here, because two of them are fictional, one of which is from my own making, and then the other is one of my favorite Rangers players who is very much a real person. So Riot Archer is from The Ritual by Chantel Tessier. Hayden Coleman is my baby boy from Take My Hand, and Matt Rempe is a Rangers player. I mean, here's the thing. It's not really fair to Riot here to have these other two in the mix. So Riot is unfortunately going to have to die. I do love him, and you know, I love all of his unhinged behavior. I really appreciate it. I love his antics, and I just really enjoy him, okay? But Hayden, like, these are the two though that genuinely, it's like, I don't know, because I love Matt Rempe. Listen, Matt Rempe is one of my favorite Rangers players, okay? Ever since he came out in his first game swinging, I was instantly in love. And oh my God, and then he scored a goal. He scored the first goal for the Rangers in the playoffs. So like, listen, I love, he's huge. He's like 6'8". He's giant. Ugh, I'm obsessed with him. So anyways, but then also like there's Hayden, who like I love, but also like he's a fictional man. And like he is, it sounds weird in this context to be like, he's my baby, but like he is my baby. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with marrying Hayden because he would be the absolute sweetest. And also, you know, I think we'd be compatible. Listen, Matt Rempe, I know you're 21. I know you're younger than me, and I don't do that, but he's getting the last one left, you know? Okay, anyways, move on. Also, I love that question. Please feel free to ask me more of those. Maybe keep them with some more like fictional characters or like real life people, because it's hard when you mix them. Like Riot just didn't stand a chance. Maybe if there was like one other fictional man in there, he might have, but like not against Matt Rempe and my own Hayden. I'm desperately trying to find a romantasy series that lives up to ACOTAR. Any suggestions? Honestly, I have not really read much romantasy lately, so I don't think I have any. I would say if you have not read Throne of Glass, it's definitely more just like fantasy. There's more like romance subplot to it than like an ACOTAR. It's definitely not as spicy or whatever. Personally though, Throne of Glass is just like that series for me. It is forever and always going to be an absolute favorite of mine. So I would 100% recommend that if you haven't read it already. But if you haven't then, and if you're looking for more, I would direct you to Jess from Honest Fiction. Go check out her channel. She has so many romance recommendations, so many videos. She's like the queen, in my opinion, of like fantasy romance. So I would totally 100% say, go check out Jess from Honest Fiction. Also like her channel, the quality of her videos is insane. Like she's awesome. Go check her out. In the year since you started BookTube to today, has your reading taste changed at all? So I started BookTube back in 2020. I didn't like post regularly in 2020. It was more like at the tail end of that year I started posting, and then 2021 was when I really started like being consistent with videos. So I would say no, not really. My taste has not really changed. I think I've always kind of been set on what I know and what I love, and I don't shy away from that. I'm not afraid of talking about the books that I love, however dark and messed up they may be. And you guys love that. And like the people who are here for that are like the ones who have been following me from the beginning when I've never like shied away from that. So I would say no, but I guess, where did my little cup holder go? But I will say back at the beginning, I still used to read more like fantasy and more like YA, where now I really don't read much fantasy or YA anymore. So I guess more so that has kind of changed, where I've just kind of focused on romance just because that's what like makes me the happiest. Don't get me wrong, I do read still like some fantasy romance every now and then, but I'd say like YA, like I only reread my old YA favorites. Like I'm not interested in really picking up any new YA. I guess in that way, yes, but I'd say as far as like romances go, like no, I still pretty much like all of the tropes that I started on my channel with. Dark, taboo, forbidden, kind of what y'all know me for. You keep a reading journal or notebooks with your lists in it? Yes, I actually showed my reading journal, I think in my last Chat Chill and Get Ready With Me. I did like a quick flip through. So it's over in my office, and quite frankly, I'm too lazy to go over there and get it right now. So yes, I do have a reading journal. And then what was the other thing? Or notebooks you keep your lists in? Yes. Then I also do have a writing notebook where I jot down ideas. I jot down things that I need to remember, especially when I'm like doing edits. I'll jot them down in there when I'm going through my books and needing to like check things off of a list. I jot them down in that. So yeah, I have reading notebook and then like a writing notebook, I guess. What was your last 5-star read? I think I'm currently reading a 5-star read. I'm reading The Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Moranova, and I think that this one's gonna be 5 stars. But obviously that's not the last one, so, because like I haven't rated it yet. My last 5-star was technically a reread. I'm doing like a Do My 5 Stars Still Stand Up, and I reread Garen Park, but again, that's not really like fair. I think honestly the last one I gave 5 stars was at the beginning of this month, King of Pride. I read that one when I was on vacation, and oh my god, I loved it. It is my favorite of the Kings of Sin series so far. I know King of Sloth, did that just come out? No, it comes out on the 30th. So I'm really excited to read that one. I think that one, I'm really anticipating that couple. But as far as so far in the series, King of Pride was phenomenal. It was an easy 5 stars. I was obsessed with those two, and I can't wait to talk about it more in my wrap up. But everyone who like shit on that book and was like, give us nothing. I don't think we read the same thing. Obviously, I know books are very subjective, but I personally loved it, and that was a very easy 5 stars for me. What do you think of what happened at Readers Take Denver? So I obviously was not there, and to be quite honest, I have been pretty offline over the past like month pretty much while I've been getting starting line done, and especially because my laptop broke and put me out of commission for like 5 days. So I have been really like buckled down and just like kind of keeping my head down and working. So I've only really been checking in on Instagram like maybe once a day, if even that. I just realized that I didn't put on deodorant this morning. So I haven't really been in the loop. I mean, I know that there's obviously drama because I've seen like when I've got on there, people like posting, like reposting stories about it and stuff. But to be honest, like I haven't really looked into it. I haven't really been on TikTok. So like, I don't know. I've just, like I said, I've been kind of like keeping my head down and just getting my work done. So I don't really know the full story. But I'm just, that sucks. Like I feel really bad for anyone who went and like had a bad experience, especially because like knowing how much we look forward to these book events and like looking forward to seeing your favorite authors and seeing your friends and like meeting up and going to these things, that then when they don't run smoothly or like you run into issues with whatever it may have been, if it was like lines, tickets, like I said, I don't really know. I just like, that's so shitty and that sucks, especially when, you know, people save up to go to these things and like it costs a lot of money to do that. So anyways, I'm just like disappointed for anyone who went and had a bad time. Oh my god. Okay, I used a ColourPop blush. I used the Too Faced chocolate bronzer, and I used the Maybelline Fit Me powder. Was that everything? Oh, and then I used a NYX brow pen and the NYX brow glue. Actually, I have those right here. And now I'm going to use my ColourPop Going Coconuts palette today because I'm keeping it pretty simple. I just want to kind of do something easy, like same old kind of eye that I normally do. So that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, I'm gonna skip over this one. It's a spoiler alert for something that happened in book 2 of Whisper Me Nothings that I will answer. I'll answer this one at the end of the video. So that way, if this was your question, I will answer it, but I don't want to like spoil anything in the middle of the video here for people who haven't read it yet. So I will save that one. What is your job outside of YouTube and writing? I am an admin assistant. That's kind of all that I say about that because I kind of keep that pretty separate. How to know what to post on YouTube / how do I come up with content for YouTube? I mean, these Chat Chill and Get Ready With Me's stemmed from me doing a Get Ready With Me and Talk About Book Bonanza last summer, and then people were like, I love this kind of format. And granted, these videos do the worst on my channel. Like, there are some of you who love them, and I'm so grateful because I love doing them, and they're like a nice change up of pace. But that's kind of how like this idea, like I started doing this, was just kind of like a monthly check-in, monthly just like chat, like just chat and chill. And let's like, because I like when I watch people on YouTube, I like to know more about them like personally, you know, like I don't just want to like hear them talk about books. And some people, that's all they want to know. Like they just want to get book recs and they want to dip, and that is totally fine. But for me, like I love more knowing more about the people that I'm watching. So I wanted to kind of like give you guys that opportunity. And obviously now when I'm like writing, I kind of like being able to be more transparent about like even those kind of things. So anyways, I really like doing these, and that's kind of how like this idea was born. Then obviously there are the videos that I do every single month, like monthly wrap up and TBR. Those are easy, those are quick. In terms of other videos, so obviously I try to do like at least one trope recommendation, like specific a month, or you know, sometimes two, but there are certain tropes that's just like that you guys just don't like and that you guys just don't care about and like don't do well. The ones that I always know are going to do well are when I do like forbidden, taboo, and dark, but I can only read so many forbidden, taboo, and dark books. Oh my God, that entire shadow just fell out. This palette, quite frankly, it has been like kind of trash since I got it. I've had it for years, but like, as you can see, like this entire one, this is not me hitting pan. This like literally fell out. It was one of the shimmers. They're so soft and they are some of the best shimmers that I have, but I mean, obviously that just happened. So I need to clean that up before I smush white shimmer in the carpet. Pause. Okay, we're back. So I think I was talking about like trope videos and stuff. So obviously I tried to do one of those, and then I mostly just kind of look at like what I haven't done in a while, what I've been reading a lot of. One thing that I will say is maybe like a fault of my own. I don't read a lot of new releases. I don't tend to read a lot of like what everyone is talking about and like what is kind of like trending at the moment, you know, like a lot of like the tropes and the authors that are like they're just not a lot of things that I'm interested in. I will say like I can't really do like a lot of like new releases type videos, or like, you know, there are certain things that it's just like I know that I'm never going to have that kind of content for you guys, but I've just kind of settled into like being okay with that and like just kind of leaning into what I like, because it would be so fake if I tried to like read books just for content, you know, just so like that way I could recommend them to you guys or talk about them or whatever. Like you guys would see through that, okay? And like that would be no fun, and like I do this for fun. So I can't really do like a lot of those videos, but then I try to find things that I can do, or even like tier ranking now. Like I don't really do those because I don't want to like get on here and like bash someone's book. So instead now I've switched it to, what did I tier? Oh, I tier ranked like all of the romance that I read by like spice level, because I can do that. There's nothing wrong with books having low spice. So I try to just find like ways to do that. Honestly, it's hard. I kind of see, you know, like what my friends are doing, like, you know, if anyone has posted a video recently that has been kind of fun, or like on Instagram, there was that trend going around of like 15 books that define my reading taste. And then I was like, well, I want to do that. But again, I've been kind of like keeping my Instagram more clear just for my own like book content, that I'm like, well, I can turn that into a video because I love talking and I can talk about 15 books that define my taste. So, you know, pulling inspiration from that. I don't know, some months I have like so many ideas, and other months I'm like scraping at the bottom of the barrel trying to find things that I want to talk about. So, I mean, it just really varies, but I guess just kind of figure out like what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about trope videos, or do you want to talk about like the most messed up books you've ever read, or like the most emotional books that you've ever read? Or do you want to do a reading vlog? I don't do a lot of vlogs because honestly, I feel like I'm pretty bad at them. So like, I don't really like filming those, but you know, wow, this looks like insanely dark on camera. It does not look this dark in real life. Anyways, I don't know if that was helpful whatsoever. I'm so sorry. Just figure out what you like, and don't let anyone else, and truly make the content that you want to make. Do not let anyone influence how or what kind of content you make. There, you will find your people that like it and that will watch it. You just have to like wait for those people to find you, or like if you can somehow find those people, like do not just feel like you need to make what you see other people making or whatever, because people will be able to see through when you don't actually care about what you're talking about, and like if you're just talking about it for the sake of like making content. So just stick to what you actually enjoy. Who are your top 3 authors of all time? Again, I feel like I gotta kind of rattle this off, because if I think about it too hard, then I'm gonna get in my head. Penelope Douglas, Sarah J. Maas. I mean, do I go with Lucia? Because like Off Balance changed my fucking life. But like granted, that's like, I like that, and like Tell Me What You Want, but she has those 2 small towns that I haven't read. Should I go with someone that I've, like Anna Huang, I've read almost all. QB Tyler. Yep, that's what we're rolling with. Okay, who is your favorite character that you've written in your book so far? And then I also got favorite character of yours. That is very hard. And I guess I'll leave starting line out of it because obviously even though like it's almost done, so like in my head I have those like very prominent, I will just go with Take You Down and Take My Hand because those are the only two that you guys know. I will say I love all of my 4 main characters so much. Okay, listen, like I truly do. But if I had, like, I guess in the first book, I'm going to have to go with Scar, and in the second book, I'm going to have to go with Hayden. I think those 2 characters specifically will always have a very special place. I think all of my characters will. Like, I love Walker. He's just so sweet and such just like an amazing person. And I love Carter, and I love her journey and everything. I just think that out of all of my characters, like Hayden, like Scar, Hayden, and Jane, who's going to be in book 3. I just think like across the board, those 3 characters are 3 that just like from the beginning, from me like conceptualizing them, have always stood out. And they're just kind of, I think they're just always going to have that like little extra pull from me that I just love. And I know like side characters aren't like really included in this. And like, I don't think anyone really cared about him in the first book, which made me sad. But Boone is just a side character in the first Whisper Me Nothings book. And I love Boone. I actually, I kind of have an idea for a book for him, but like no one's really like seemed to like pick up on him. So like, I don't know if I actually would ever write it just because like, I don't know. I want to write books that like, I obviously want to write the books that I want to write, but also like, I don't want to like, if no one really like cares either. And also because it would not be a traditional, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I don't want to give anything away. Okay, what gives you the ick in books? I would say like weird nicknames, but I feel like that's a pretty common one. Like when someone gets like a really cringy nickname. Also, this is a picky ass thing for me, but I do not like when like pop culture things are referenced in books because I feel like it severely dates things. So like even in my own books, like I've had to be careful with that because like in Take You Down, Walker and Scar are watching a movie and like I didn't want to choose anything that was like too recent because I don't like that kind of vibe when it feels like it's like too on trend. So like I chose an older movie, like a very well-known franchise, like not something super niche. And I also hate when like they reference like celebrities, like when like Harry Styles or Taylor Swift is like mentioned. I'm like, I just don't like that. That kind of throws me out of things pretty quickly. I'm curious, you started writing a series, which I love, but you have since started writing a sports romance in the middle of writing a series. I often wondered why some authors choose to do this. I'm not criticizing, just merely curious as to some of the reasons behind that kind of decision. Also, what is a trusted source to get Manacled? When I Google it, several options come up and I don't want to download a virus. Okay, so as far as Manacled goes, I don't know if you can get it on AO3. Still get it on AO3. That's where it was originally published. However, I know that Manacled is getting like traditionally published. Obviously, like it's under a different title. I think it's called Alchemized. And obviously it's not going to be like Harry Potter fan fiction in order to like actually publish it, which I'm so excited for Senlin Yu to finally be able to get this story out there. Cause like I've always said, Manacled is truly one of the most masterful things I've ever read in my entire life. So I'm very, very excited and I will be buying and reading the like new version of it. But because of that, I know it was getting pulled from AO3. So I don't know if it's still available. So that would be the place that I would suggest. And if that's not available anymore, then like I don't really know what else would be like a trusted source for it. So I would say definitely like look at AO3. And if it's still available on there, then get it from there. And then as far as my decision to write a book in between, started a series, started writing a sports romance. So few reasons for that, and I can only speak on my own experience, but I can say what I like assume other authors are also kind of like operating under. I could keep going with Whisper Me Nothings like right away. I honestly would have, because Take What You Want, that's book 3, that is Jane and Nikolai. They have been talking to me for years. They have been very front and center in my mind since like this entire series kind of came to me as an idea. And I have been very anxious to write their book, even as I've been writing everyone else's book. The two of them just keep like coming up and I'm like, I need y'all to keep it quiet for just a little bit longer because I'm not ready to get to you guys yet. But with the way that things fell, and with Starting Line specifically, so Starting Line is the sports romance that I'm writing in between. It has nothing to do with the Whisper Me Nothing series, but the reason why I chose to do this one next and in between books 2 and 3 of Whisper Me Nothings, I guess kind of has two major reasons. So the first one is that it follows two Olympic athletes, an Olympic gymnast and an Olympic swimmer, so two summer Olympic athletes, and it is 2024 this year. So what is happening this summer? The Summer Olympics. So I wanted to coincide this book release with the Summer Olympics. I just thought that was kind of good timing. You know, people will be watching the Olympics, kind of in the mood, hopefully, for a sports romance. So I just thought that that's good timing to release this book. Maybe if I would have started releasing Whisper Me Nothings years ago, so let's just use 2022 for an example. If I was publishing back in 2022, if I published Take You Down and Take My Hand, I would probably, I mean, who's to say though? Because I have so many other books that it's like I'm very excited to get to, so I might have taken a break in between anyways and written something different. But specifically where we are right now with it being the Summer Olympics, I knew that I wanted to try to get this book out for the Summer Olympics. So that's at least why Starting Line specifically I did like that. Now the other thing is, and what I think probably other authors, you know, like, and other indie authors who don't have like contracts with publishing houses on certain books that they have to deliver with this time, because that's a whole different ball game. But for like indie authors specifically, why maybe they publish different things in between, and like one of my reasons, one, maybe like the freedom of it, the freedom to switch it up. But for me, like in my headspace here, so obviously my first two books were both rockstar romances. Granted, they have different tropes in them, but they both at their core are rockstar romances. And the last two books in Whisper Me Nothings, again, different tropes, both still rockstar romances. And there are people out there who don't like rockstar romances and are never going to pick one up. And I don't want to like have to delay gaining any kind of like new readers that I possibly could, because I release 4 books that are all a trope that someone might not care about. Now, granted, I'm always going to write the books that I want to write and what like feels right to me. So I'm not going to like, you know, right now, obviously the trend is like small town cowboy, that kind of thing. I'm never going to write that because I don't like reading those books. It would be so bad if I tried to even attempt at that. But that said, you know, there are other genre or like other subgenres and tropes that I want to write that I could maybe get, you know, some new readers from. So like with a sports romance, obviously, I think that's like a broader audience than just rock stars. So like for me, it's a chance as like a new baby author to maybe find some new readers, you know, or even for people who have already read the first 2 rockstar books and also just want like a change of pace from me, you know, want to see me write something different. I feel very comfortable in rockstar romance, and that's something that I've realized as I've been writing the Starting Line, that it's like I feel very, very comfortable in that music space, in that kind of like lifestyle. I really just love writing that, and I'm not as comfortable in the sports romance realm. So it's also kind of like a way to push myself a little bit. And yeah, like I said, like I don't want people to get bored because I'm releasing 4 books with the same trope, like back to back to back, even though they're all very different in tone and, you know, other tropes and whatever, that it is just nice to like switch it up a little bit. And like I said, find maybe some new readers that have been maybe wanting to check you out but haven't had like a book that they've been interested from you yet, you know? And so that's what I'm assuming, you know, might kind of be the same for some other authors as well. Like they kind of have the same thing, either they have another book or like they go where inspiration takes them, because that's the other thing. Like I've been working, and now we're far into the video, so the ones who are here, you know, this is where I kind of always like just get a little loose-lipped at the end here. You kind of have to go where the inspiration takes you. So obviously I've been writing Starting Line and been needing to get that done, but Walker and Scar, I am writing a novella for them. It will be a while until it's released, because I will release it after Take Me Home, which is book 4, because the events in the novella take place mostly between books 3 and 4 for Walker and Scar. But they have really been talking to me. I've been really, really inspired with this novella. It's gonna hurt, and I'm so excited for it. And I've kind of just had to like in my like free fun time then when I'm like not working on Starting Line, I've been kind of working on this novella because that's just kind of like where the inspiration has taken me. Like I said, this literally won't release until 2025 or like once the last Whisper Nothings book is out, but you just kind of have to follow where the inspiration takes you. So maybe for other authors too, like they might be in the middle of a series, but maybe they get like really big inspo for something and they just kind of have to follow that, and that ends up kind of like interrupting things a little bit. Like I said, I can only speak from my own personal experience, but that's kind of like where my head's at with it. Do you plan on writing any other genres like suspense romance, thriller, romantasy, etc.? So I will always write within romance. I could never see myself writing something that doesn't have romance in it. I will say I would love to write a non-traditional romance, like a non-traditional HEA. So I guess would that technically be like a love story? I would love to write that one day. I also am very interested. I would love to write romantasy. I have obviously not been reading a lot, but I have like a kernel of an idea. It's more like I see scenes first and I kind of build off of that. And I have like 2 scenes in my head that now I'm kind of like, okay, it's just time to sit with those and see how that goes. Because especially like the world building, like that'll be a whole other beast. So I'm just kind of been sitting with that. I would say not in like any time in the near future. I kind of have probably my next like almost 2 years planned out of kind of what's up on deck in my head of like who's waiting to like move up the conveyor belt of writing. So like romance, like that's not anytime soon, but I would like that. As far as like suspense romance goes, so I don't really read any romantic suspense, although I think actually The Fabric of Our Souls is advertised as like a romantic thriller, I think, right? So I'm reading that right now. I don't get like super thrillerish energy yet, but maybe I'll end up like loving it, but I just don't think, or like obviously I'm loving the book. I'm saying like romantic thriller as a genre, like maybe I'll end up really loving it. But I will say right now, at least, probably not. I don't think that I have like the chops to like build that kind of like suspense and like mystery. And I think because for me, like I just always try to guess whatever is gonna happen in thrillers, and then like I'm always disappointed. Like I don't know, I just don't see myself probably writing that. But I will say never, because truly I just kind of go as the stories come. Like I don't like pick a trope and am then like, I'm going to write this. It's truly just like what kind of like ideas I get, and then however it may fall into what category is kind of, I guess, like how I do things. Okay, and then I'll answer the spoiler alert question. So if I didn't get to your question today, I'm very sorry. I promise I will get to it next video. And like I said, if you have any new questions that have popped up, you can leave them down below. But so this is a spoiler alert for an event that happens at the end of Take My Hand and will therefore kind of like spiral out into book 3. So if you have not read book 1 or 2 and you don't want to like be spoiled, skip ahead. I will see you in my next video. But if you've read it and you want to like hear me chat about something quick, then here we go. Okay, giving you your moment. Get out of here if you don't want to know. 3, 2, 1. Actually, here, I'll even take a sip of my coffee. Okay, we're good? Okay. How could you let the band break up? I can't wait for the next Whisper Me Nothings book. Okay, here's the thing. I obviously didn't want them to break up. I really didn't. And I even wanted to kind of like fight against, hold on, I can't do this and talk. I really didn't. Even as I was writing, I was like, is there a way to not let them break up? But there truly isn't. Like it had to happen. It has to, trust me. Like they do need this time apart, and it broke my heart writing it though. Like I did cry. I cried during their final huddle writing it. I pretty much cry on average at least once every book that I write. And I think I actually cried more than that in Take My Hand. But one of those times was when Arun was kind of having a one-on-one with Hayden and just being like, look, like I love you guys, like you're my own kids, but like I can't fix this. And like that kills me because like he's their manager, he's their fixer, and he can't fix it. And no one else can for them except for the 4 of them, and they're not in a place right now where they are capable of fixing things. It's just they need their time apart. But yeah, like I said, it broke my heart writing that last huddle. I was like, oh, it was brutal for me. But I will just say, trust my process. I obviously will not give anything away, but take what you want. You know, Jane and Nikolai's book, you know, I think it's going to be taking place like a year after Take My Hand. And then Take Me Home, which is Reed's book, and I am not saying anything about who his lady is. But that one I think is then going to be like, it's gonna be pretty similar after Take What You Want. I think I haven't quite figured out the timeline for that book, like how much time has passed. But I will just say, you know, trust the process, stick with me. But I know a lot of you actually already are, like, even though people hate Reed, they're like looking forward to Reed's book, I think, to kind of see like if he'll be able to like redeem himself, or if I should say if I'm able to like redeem him in your minds. I hope so. I'm really looking forward to, like I said, I'm loving Starting Line. It's been really fun to write. I love TJ and Caleb. They by far so far have been my easiest couple in terms of chatting. I could write an entire book of them just like sitting on a couch having a conversation with each other. Their banter is so easy. It flows so well. I truly love writing the two of them. However, I will just say I am so excited to get back to writing rock stars. It's just where I love my rock stars. And I'm really excited for Jane and Nikolai's book, and I'm really excited for Reed's book. Reed's book is coming together more in my head, kind of like his has always been kind of like just like a hazy off in the distance picture, with kind of like the broad, like I kind of have like the broad idea, but now it's finally starting to crystallize a little bit, and I'm getting really excited about that. So yeah, I have a feeling that those two books are gonna kind of flow right out of me, I'm hoping. So anyways, I will just say trust the process on it, but it was necessary. They had to do it. They had to. So anyways, that is it for today's Chat Chill and Get Ready With Me. What will be, is next week already? Let me pull my calendar, because is next week already? I think it is probably TBR and wrap up time already next week. Holy shit, this month flew by. So anyways, yeah, that is it for today's video. Like I said, if you have any questions for the next one, leave them down below for me, because I will check this comment section for the next video. And if I didn't get to your question, I will bump them to the top of my little like note here, so that way I know to answer them like first thing next time. So anyways, that is it for today's video, and I will see you when I see ya.